I never participated in reduced fee plans, but I would say it's safe to say that 90% of our members do. Now, from a profit standpoint, I don't like that. But I had to ask myself, what would I do if I was participating, didn't like it, and what would be my strategy for getting out? And so what I'm going to do now is walk you through a step-by-step process that I have helped lots of dentists do to take yourself out of PPO reduced fee plans that are crushing your profit, but I know you need the cash flow. How do you get out? This is a step-by-step process, and this is the birth of the PPO DSO Freedom program. If you follow this process, just do it, engineer your own freedom. It's up to you to figure it out. I don't even care if you stay in 2 or 3 plans that are working for you in your formula, but to know that you are doing procedures and losing money on those procedures all in the interest of cash flow really just rubs me the wrong way as a business owner and entrepreneur. And so I'm going to lay out for you today is the step-by-step process that I would put in place if I didn't like my current situation with the fee structures of the PPOs. I'm going to start this with a story. So it's 1992. I'm in a town of 10,000 with 11 dentists. The strip mall that I am practicing in has emptied out because we lost our anchor store. And now there's me at the south end, 100,000 square feet empty of unleased space and a public laundromat at the north end. My business is crashing. We're in a recession in the spring of 92, and I have all these reasons why it's not going well, but now for the first time in 11 years, I'm operating under my break-even point. No one knew this, but I'm actually considering laying off half the staff and closing the office. I was 4 days a week, closing down to maybe 3 and working 3 days a week in South Bend for somebody else. This is the battle that I was embroiled in. So everybody is starting to talk about PPOs, reduced fee plans. Yes, you're going to have to. It's the wave of the future. And so I had 3 different plans on my desk. And I never wanted to participate, but I have to look at all of my options now. I've got 3 kids and I got to do something about this. So I'm taking a look at these fee structures. Don't even remember the names of the companies. It doesn't matter. So I'm looking at the fee structures. They were a little varied at, restorative procedures, but every single one of them was going to give me the same price for a cleaning, an O110, right? So at the time, now this is in a town of 10,000 in the middle of a cornfield in Indiana. At the time, I'm getting $35 for an O110. And I looked across these 3 pieces of paper in front of me, and everybody's giving me the same price, $15. That's what I'm going to get back. Now, I'm paying my hygienist $21 an hour to do the procedure. We won't even talk about the x-ray film, the prophy paste, everything else, the cost of a staff member to keep that hygienist busy. We won't even talk about any of that. Let's just look at flat out dollar for dollar. I'm going to get $15 to pay somebody $21 to do a procedure I was normally getting $35 on, and I made a split-second decision. There's no way in the world I'm doing this. I'm not going to lose money on that procedure. And I understand it's all justified. Oh, you'll get the crowns, you get the this, that. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. Now, background on me. I was raised in the restaurant business. My dad and my uncle owned a restaurant in a little farm town of 3,000 the month after I was born. And so I worked in the restaurant business, for the 18 years of my life, literally. And my dad and I started having some business conversations about the time I hit 11, 12, 13. So he would run a special in the summer on the 39-cent chocolate or strawberry sundae, 39 cents. He ran a special at 19 cents. And I'm like, Dad, that's 50% off. How can you do this? He said, well, let me tell you, son. So imagine a little yellow plastic cup with a white plastic spoon, 3 ounces of soft serve ice cream, and 2 squirts of chocolate, 2 squirts of strawberry. That is the sundae. My dad told me that cost him 8.5 cents. He knew the cost of the plastic spoon to a fraction of a penny, the cost of the cup, the cost of the 3 ounces of ice cream, and there's a scale beside the soft serve machine. And if he saw somebody putting 4 ounces in there, he went over, he grabbed it, he weighed it and says, that's 4 ounces. He threw it away and say, now show me how you can do 3. He was really strict on this. But get this, the Sunday that he's charging 19 cents for, which is a 50% discount, he knew he wasn't losing on at 8.5 cents. He told me how to price a hamburger, a piece of fish. So I had that concept and I looked at this and immediately I know I'm not doing this. If it gets this bad, then I'm going to close down to 3 days a week and go work for somebody else because I'm not going to do a procedure that I'm not making money on. And that is such a rare viewpoint in our profession that we are willing to lose money on a procedure for cash flow. Anybody in the chair is better than nobody in the chair. That is completely not true. So here's an example of that line of thought with a dentist. So I have a dentist a female dentist who flies in from New York. This has been, 10 years ago. Her husband comes with her, who's a business owner, and they're there to talk about the practice. And within the first 30 minutes, he says, Dr. Winteregg, you have to help me with her. On the one plan, she's getting paid $250 for a partial denture. And I have done the cost analysis on it, and it's costing her $350 to do it. I looked at the doctor and I said, is that true? She says, yes, that's true, but I have to have patients. I have bills to pay. So just to emphasize a point, I reached into my pocket and I pulled out $100 and I put it in front of her. And I said, what I want you to do is have your husband go to the bank and get you 10 $100 bills. This is $100. The next time you diagnose a partial, I want you to take out of the envelope $100 and give it to the patient and tell them that they need a partial and you're giving them $100 to go someplace else. And she said, what? I said, yes, you'll lose less money. You don't have the staff time, the expense, and the lab bill that you are losing right now to do a $350 procedure. It costs you that to deliver it for $250. She got it. On the way home, she dropped out of that plan. And what's interesting is over the next 90 days, her practice doubled. So the point here is you can't participate. If the numbers don't work, and many dentists are unwilling or don't want to run the numbers. But I guess, so you are participating, now you realize that what do you do? So here's the strategy. If I'm participating, here's what I would be doing. First of all, I would have a killer reactivation program. I would have my staff on the phone. I would have somebody, if I had a bigger practice, I'd have one person dedicated full-time on the phone calling previous patients. Listen, I can't believe what I'm hearing is that there are consultants out there that say if a patient hasn't been in for 18 months, you inactivate their chart. That is just the most ridiculous business advice I've ever heard. The cost of acquiring a new patient, generally I'm hearing, is $150 to $200. Okay, so you spent $200 to get a patient in, you did some work on them, they miss a couple of cleanings because they're busy or they don't like having their gum scraped, and now you're not even going to send them a newsletter, you're not going to send them an email, you're going to erase them and archive them. That's just not good business practice. So I would have somebody full-time calling on the phone. Now that needs to be a special person. That would have to be a video tip for another day. You need to reactivate the existing patients. The second thing I would do is I would hire a company to renegotiate my PPO fees. And there are companies out there that do this. This is their gig. This is their game. They have spreadsheets. They can even predict if you drop this plan, this is how many will leave. Hire a professional, spend some money to renegotiate your fees. All right? The third thing that I would do is just market like crazy. Social media, SEO, you have to be spending at least 5% of your monthly revenue on some form of marketing. You have to be getting in new patients. But then don't be getting in new patients without a good reactivation program and without renegotiating your fees. Do you kind of see how all of this kind of flows? And then finally, I'm talking to members who have a membership program in their practice where the patients will pay, let's say, $25 a month. They get their 2 cleanings, their x-rays, etc. It's sort of like a gym membership. They'll get 10 or 15% or more off an operative procedure. And so I have clients now that have 1,000 patients every month, giving them a little bit of a monthly fee. It covers all the overhead, the rent, the staff costs. I mean, so definitely I would have an in-office membership program. Then, as the practice would expand, I'd have all of my PPOs that I'm not happy with listed out, best to worst. And as the practice is expanding, then I'm like, okay, number 10 is gone. Next month, next quarter, number 9 is gone. And if you're happy with 1, 2, and 3, keep them. But this is a logical business strategy. It's just so upsetting to me that so many dentists are working for free, and it's even worse than that. So many dentists would be better off giving a $100 bill to a new patient and asking them to go somewhere else, and they would lose less. So I have my video from our first convention, November of 2019. I get into a spreadsheet, I figured it all out, and for the most part, honestly, you could afford to lose 20% of your patients, and that might give you a stomachache thinking about it. You could afford to lose 20% of your patients because those are the ones that you're actually paying to be in the practice. You could lose them, and the practice would be better off, and you would make more profit. So I'm laying out this strategy. I'm laying out this process. What would I do if this were me? And so I hope this has been helpful. I really, really want you to flourish. I really want you to prosper. And I want to stop being annoyed looking at members who are losing money doing dentistry. The profession is way too hard to do that. You spent way too much time and way too much money getting that degree. And I'm just tired of seeing dentists in my profession taken advantage of only because they haven't done the math and they don't have the strategy. So I hope this helps.